If you're watching this because your document just suddenly disappeared, your citation manager corrupted your library, your recording software glitched, or your university server decided that today was the day, then I want you to first take a breath. This is a character flaw, it's not proof you're behind, and it's not the end of your writing momentum. It's just tech being tech. Today, I want to talk to you in this mini-sode about what to do when your tools fail you so that your mindset doesn't fail you as well. Hi, I'm Dr. Stacey Garapi. I have my PhD in music education. I've been a mom for 2 years, I've taught for over 10, and I specialize in helping writers like you who have full plates and even fuller hearts to be efficient in your writing and research, to be energized and enjoy your life. Welcome to Crayons in My Manuscript. So first, let's talk about getting rid of all or nothing thinking. When our tech malfunctions, our brains go straight to really catastrophic thoughts like, the whole day is ruined, I've lost everything, there's no point in trying now, or the dreaded and related but common, might as well, usually followed by some sort of binge, content or otherwise. That is all or nothing thinking. But that thinking is flawed, and it won't get you anywhere. Maybe you lost a section. Maybe your formatting got really messed up. Maybe you lost some citations. But what you didn't lose is your expertise, all the thinking that you did prior, and most importantly, you did not lose your ability to reconstruct or rebuild. And remember, especially for non-traditional scholars like y'all, you have rebuilt and been scrappier in harder situations and rebuilt harder things than this. So don't catastrophize. Instead, recalibrate. Second, tech-wise, the best defense is a good offense. I have to start with this one because once the panic passes and before the next breakdown, we've got to talk about building a system. My husband, who is in tech for a living, calls this disaster recovery. And as much as I hate the term, it's spot on. It's industry standard. And really, that's good that it is, because future you deserves some redundancy. And disaster recovery isn't pessimistic. It's actually professional. So, that being said, what can we do? We duplicate files, create cloud backups. We can save on external hard drives and flash drives. We can even email drafts to ourselves. But most importantly, we make sure to leave ourselves breadcrumbs by putting dates in the title of the files. Those are important. Academic writing is just too cognitively expensive to trust to a single point of failure. And speaking of breadcrumbs, let's talk about breadcrumbs because this is where most people save themselves hours. Leave breadcrumbs. What do I mean by this? I mean to date every writing session. This is even better if you have an old-fashioned notebook and are jotting some things down. I'm going to do an entire podcast on this later when I talk about the Pomodoro method. Second, you can save versions with the revision dates. Did I mention revision dates? Because they're really, really important. And then we can keep a running where I left off note. This way, if something crashes, you can return to it. And it can say something like, on February 12th, I revised the methods section on pages 4 and 5, and I tightened up the paragraph 3 on page 6. Small action, but those breadcrumbs turn I lost everything into a more manageable I lost 45 minutes. That's huge for your sense of momentum. Fourth, we can ask, what can I do right now to move the ball forward in my research? Maybe your laptop's updating, or your database is down. Maybe your software is being laggy because your laptop is updating. Maybe you're just waiting on your kid to get to sleep like I am right now so that you can just do some deep work. I want you to ask yourself, what can I do right now? Here are a few ideas. First, outline things by hand. 2, brain dump on paper. Get absolutely everything out of your head that is taking up space. Use your best pen to do it too. Third, read and notate a printed article. Fourth, draft topic sentences in the Notes app on your phone. Those are so helpful. I have so much, like my life is in my notes. Fifth, you can sketch the argument structure for your paper on paper. Just remember that momentum is not just in page counts, it's psychological. And even 10 metaphorical forward inches keep you from spiraling. Fifth, you can reframe the lost time while your tech is being dumb as revisions that you don't have to do anymore. This one's kind of counterintuitive, so let me explain, and stay with me. Sometimes what you lost wasn't your best thinking. If you must rewrite, chances are, when you do, it'll be tighter, clearer, and more aligned with where your argument evolved. That messy paragraph that you mourned and may or may not have shed actual tears over losing, well, it might have just been future revision anyway. Its fate may have already been sealed by a zealous editor or a cranky reviewer too. And all the thinking and research you did to write the paper and do it, still in your brain, and it's still working. So you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. That's a really important reframe. 6, pivot to something that doesn't use technology. Here's another idea I alluded to earlier. When the screen betrays you, step away from the screen. Take it as a nudge from the universe to pull away. And I don't mean to just make the day a get no writing kind of done day. I mean do something, again, that moves the ball forward. Annotate some printed PDFs. Do a mind map on a paper or a whiteboard. Okay, as a teacher, I think there's nothing like the feeling of opening a fresh expo marker and that first oh so buttery smooth jot onto the whiteboard. Mwah! It's chef's kiss. So you can also do things like walk outside if it's possible. Maybe dictate your ideas into a voice memo on your phone. The point is to get you from out of your computer and out of that sort of negative space. You can also organize your physical notes. I know even you Gen Zers have some physical note cards, so organize them. There is just something so deeply grounding about analog work. You are not powerless just because your Wi-Fi is out. 7, take it as this is a sign to rest intentionally. Sometimes, guys, tech failure is just a glitch, but sometimes it's a giant nudge from the universe. If you're exhausted, if you're parenting, teaching, caregiving, researching, and holding everything together, maybe today's tech failure becomes a great excuse for a short walk or a trip to the park with your kids, where you sit and instead of just staring at your phone, you listen to the soundscape of childhood, even for 5 minutes, and even if that's sibling spats and arguments. Maybe you take a nap, sans guilt. Or maybe you just do a reset instead of a rage spiral. This is all about using the opportunity not to take yourself too seriously. Because your dissertation's important, your article's important, your presentation or your book chapter is important, but friends, none of it is more important than your health, your family, and your sense of well-being while also being a scholar. And that's why we're here. To sum up, when tech fails, you have 2 choices. You can spiral or you can strategize. But you are a scholar. You're adaptable. You are more resilient than your software or your Wi-Fi connection. And next time this happens, because it will, you'll have backups, you'll have breadcrumbs, and a better mindset. How's that for alliteration? All right, so keep writing. Even if today that writing has to be done on the back of an envelope. Well, that's it for today's beautifully messy draft minisode. There's another alliteration. If you like this video and you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by hitting the like and subscribe button, by writing a review in iTunes or wherever you're getting your audio app, but podcast. Or you can also do so by going to Buy Me a Coffee. The link is in the show notes below. I'd be so grateful for your support. Until next time, trust your words. You're building real scholarship amidst a real life. Every little bit counts, and I'm right here with you, cheering you on the whole way. Subscribe and join me again for crayons in my manuscript. Until next time.